Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.
How a famous creative agency executes effective ad campaigns, the competitive socialising business which aims to change social experiences for Irish adults, and how sustainability is driving growth for a new branding concept. Good morning, I'm Karl Fitzpatrick and welcome to this week's edition of Business Matters. Well, having enjoyed success with their trampoline venues, the co-founders of Jump Zone, Dan Begley and Paul Quinn, are now turning their attention to bringing a new socialising model to the Irish market. Competitive socialising has become a hit in both the UK and the Middle East, and Dan and Paul are now bringing the concept to Ireland through Super Social. Dan joins us on the phone now to discuss the growth opportunities for Super Social. Dan, before we discuss this new venture, remind us about Jump Zone and the heights which it has reached.
Good morning, Karl. Thanks for having us. Jump Zone, we started in 2012 and we expanded across Dublin, kind of south, north, west, and it's turned out to be great for us. It really, from the word go, it's really hit the heights and then has just prospered from there, with each venue kind of getting bigger and better as they expanded, and we've also learned to keep it very fresh, kind of regenerations every kind of 3-4 years, making sure that there's something new for people to come back to, and it's just gone from strength to strength. We're very happy with it.
And apart from refreshing the offering, what else has been the key to the success of Jump Zone?
So it's our willingness to travel, to see what's new around the world, kind of led to Super Social as well, by going to the US, going to the Middle East, making sure that people had something new to try out, but also getting the right staff has been huge. The Jump Zone staff have been incredible, from managers, part-time, and they make the difference when people come and visit us, especially for birthday parties, like that they're entertained from the minute they come to us until the minute they leave.
And in terms of the research which both yourself and your co-founder Paul conducted into similar venues in the Middle East and the UK, what did you learn from that experience?
I suppose, as well as seeing what did work, we saw what didn't work. That we have to make a view on. There's always a lot of new things coming out, whether they're just faddish or whether they would endure. So looking to the Middle East especially, there's a lot of money over there, so they have the financial power to try things, and they're willing to do so. They're always trying different things, kind of futuristic things especially, and to repeat visits, we could see something booming one year, but next year we'd go back and kind of see that it wasn't quite as good, so that would let us know maybe not. But again, we learned over time what we saw as working, not working, and a lot of the stuff we saw was kind of standalone, where there'd just be golf on its own or darts on its own. But we decided we'd bring these four kind of our main activities together and really have a kind of a unique offering that people had a reason to come back, that they wouldn't just play golf and then maybe 2 or 3 months later come back. That we see people coming back on maybe not every week, but every kind of second or third week, to try the different activities that we have, plus a very kind of high quality food, beverage offering at Super Social.
And when we look internationally, through the research that you've conducted, how open were the owners of these venues to providing you with information that ultimately led to you creating a business plan for Super Social?
To be honest, not hugely open. And often, if we came across them, it would be great. We'd chat to them, but they wouldn't make themselves overly available. What we'd usually do is just spend time at venues, watching the movement of people, how the games are played.
So what is Super Social?
Super Social, it's a competitive environment for late teens, 20-something, 30-something, 40-something to go and enjoy themselves, not just on a night out, but also on a day out. There's competitive gaming as well as food and beverage offering. We've certainly seen how just going out and drinking is kind of doesn't really get people going anymore. They want an alternative experience, kind of more memorable experience, and Super Social offers that through its competitive environment with the 4 different games: the golf, the darts, the shuffleboard, and the arena that we have.
And of course, the concept is known as competitive socialising. How did this trend come about?
That's a good question. I suppose through people like ourselves that golf, darts have been around for a long time, the likes of those type of games or activities. But by bringing technology into it, gamifying it, it allowed more of a competition for people to play against their friends, their colleagues. The gaming makes it very easy. You don't have to be brilliant at it. You can pick up bonus points along the way. With the darts, you don't have to get your dart into a small little kind of pizza slice on the board. You can pick up points if you get into certain sections and that. So it just gave kind of wider scope for more people to be competitive once they're in the likes of Super Social.
And in terms of who this is aimed at, is it friend groups? Is it the corporate world? Is it couples, singles? What are you looking at?
You've probably named everyone that it's aimed at, like the corporates without a doubt. It's a real icebreaker where people aren't just sitting around a table traditionally kind of drinking and waiting for things to get going. If you're either side of our shuffleboard with a group of colleagues or that, you're straight away talking about the next shot, the shot you just took with on the game, enjoying yourself from word go. You have a kind of a common interest for that time you're with us. But corporates without doubt, it ticks all of their boxes. But also individuals, small groups of friends, date nights. We see that as a big one. We've already had a number of date nights with us, even sports clubs, any type of team bonding. We've had hockey clubs in with us already that, they're just trying to get the team to bond together, and they see Super Social as a great place to do that because there's in our arena there's agility games, there's mind games. They have to work together. They can be a team, not just play as individuals when they play the different games.
I imagine that Super Social will be very busy on evenings and nights, but what about during the day?
Yeah, during the day as well. It's definitely a place that, again, the corporates already will have a number of bookings that have been with us that come during the day. It's not all about going out at night time. They have off-sites. They want to entertain their staff during the day, develop culture, especially with the way society's gone. Not quite working from home as much anymore, but more a hybrid model for a lot of people. There's still companies, they need to develop culture and getting their staff together in that kind of enjoyable environment where they can relax a little bit and get to know each other better. Certainly during the day is as important for our trade as in the evening. But where we're located in Leopardstown, there's a lot of businesses around us. I think there's 30,000 people work in the area. So again, it's great for people to be able to take a little moment out of their day, come along with one or two friends. They don't have to be part of a big group, and just take that moment out and enjoy themselves.
Super Social is located in Leopardstown. How did you choose that particular location for the business?
Back in 2019, 2020, we were looking at the centre of town. We were just about to sign on a very large location and COVID hit, so that kind of knocked things on the head temporarily. Once we saw kind of what was happening as we were coming out of COVID and that, we kind of looked more towards the suburbs and having an offering out there. Probably spent about 6 to 12 months looking at different places, but the minute we came across Leopardstown, we really kind of felt that it was right. Plus, who you're dealing with makes a big difference. We're dealing with Tim Husband's horse race in Ireland, who's very kind of forward-looking, progressive. He could kind of bought into our vision of what we could bring to Leopardstown Racecourse. They have their own development plans, and they're always kind of looking to do something different, and it exceeded our expectation.
You're using a lot of technology within the venue itself to create immersive and interactive experiences for your customers. But what would you say to somebody that's saying, well, maybe people want to get away from technology? They're in a business all day, they're using technology, or indeed distracted constantly from a mobile phone, and maybe what they need is to go to a social setting without technology.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point, and that's why we've kept everything real. It's not VR. We've always steered clear from that, even with our jump zone adventure parks. We're always reluctant to bring in technology where other places in the UK, the US did. In Super Social, you have a golf club in your hand, you're putting along a surface, and you don't have like screens where you're the monitors and that. The same with the darts, you're actually throwing a dart. It's gamified. There's a screen around the dart board, but it's gamified, so a high level of technology, but you're still physically throwing a dart. The shuffleboard, the same thing. We've brought a high level of technology into the traditional shuffleboard. There's a big screen at the end. The puck is tracked, but again, you're sliding it down the actual board. And then the arena, which is a massive amount of technology, as we keep on saying, it's like the cube on steroids. That you're very physically engaged and mentally engaged. There's different mind games or agility games that you play either 1v1 or as a team. So we've kept it very physically active and real in all the games.
And in Jump Zone, you refresh the offering every 3 to 4 years. Do you expect to do likewise within Super Social?
Certainly, it's been a much bigger financial outlay for the games, and they're more conducive to be upgraded by the suppliers as time goes on. Like, there's roughly 10 games for the darts, 10 for the arena, 10 for the shuffle, but the developers can bring out new games every few months or every year, and then they upload them to the portals, and we automatically benefit from that because of the contracts that we have with them, that the offering is constantly kept fresh like that. So wouldn't see it every 3 or 4 years, possibly every 5 or 6 years we might adjust one of the activities, but it's different in that way. I suppose that's where technology could benefit us in the long run.
And one of the keys to growing the Jump Zone business over the past 10 years as well was the fact that you expanded the offering across Dublin. Do you plan to follow the same strategy with Super Social?
Absolutely, yeah. We would see probably North Dublin, West Dublin, city centre, definitely in Dublin. They're attractive areas to us, but very much so Cork as well. We've identified a site in Cork already, which is very attractive, and that's kind of in probably the 36 to 48 months kind of radar that we have, and then the likes of Galway, Belfast, probably a little bit further down the road, but certainly Dublin and Cork, we're very interested in expanding in those areas.
Well, if you've just tuned in, that was Dan Begley from Super Social. And I'd like to thank Dan for taking us into the world of competitive socialising this morning.
Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.